What's up? The summer heat is starting to pick up, so I figured today we'll go down to a nice little subterranean bathroom and talk about one of the luckiest film franchises there is. Why do I call it the luckiest? Well, that's because this movie's budget was around $1.2 million and it would go on to make over $100 million at the box office. It was shot in only 18 weeks, and because of this, they ran out of footage while editing and had to get creative, real creative, using behind-the-scenes photos for crime scene photos, putting filters over a shot to make it look like surveillance footage, the director playing dead bodies that were only shot from the waist down because the actors had already left. Just so many things that should have buried this movie, but somehow they got it out and the rest is history. Also, when I was a young turkey, going to see the new Saw movie was a Halloween tradition for years. To be more specific, there was a new Saw movie every year from 2004 to 2010, and Saw 2 was greenlit the opening weekend of Saw 1. Saw also pioneered the torture porn genre. Well, I guess Hostel was there too, but they only have 3 movies, so who gives a shit? Besides both being responsible for torture porn, Hostel and Saw also share the fact that the first movie is the best one. With Hostel, it's more clear-cut, but when I say that the first Saw is the best one, I'm talking about movies in general. But Saw has a cult following for a reason, but that's because of what the later films would do. Crazy plot twists and reveals that shatter your perspective of the world is what makes Saw great, but not everyone is down with the clown, and this first entry doesn't really have any of that. Well, it does have a twist at the end, but compared to the twist that would come after this, it's more of a curve. Going through the Saw movies is like going through a repeat offender's mugshots. The first one is relatively normal, just a speeding ticket, but then by the time you get to the 5th one, it's strong-armed robbery while high on PCP, and then you realize you're not even done yet, but you're along for the ride at this point, so you might as well see it all the way through. Jigsaw, Spiral, and Saw X have more mainstream appeal, but the first 7 films are just something else. Well, it's more like 2 through 7, and that's what makes this first one so special. This is the dorky kid still in high school before he started smoking meth and stealing catalytic converters, and it's interesting seeing the peak before going down the hill. This movie also has some great quotes. Anyway, long story short, I love the Saw movies, and it's about time I get to covering them. Also, even though this is my favorite movie, Saw 2 is my favorite Saw movie, so if you want to see a follow-up to this video, let me know by dropping a like and leaving a comment. We open this movie with the first shot they filmed, Adam waking up in a bathtub. To get the actors to feel what the characters were feeling, all of the scenes in the bathroom are shot sequentially, which means that these actors were spending day after day filming in the same bathroom set.
Working in the bathroom set, which was out of 18 days, 6.5 were there, so a little over a third of the film was shot in the bathroom.
After Adam makes his way out of the tub, he hears the voice of Dr. Gordon played brilliantly by Cary Elwes, who you could know from The Princess Bride, but he's also been in 8 Family Guy episodes, and he was the incredible uncredited tow truck driver in the classic 1988 film Never on Tuesday. You know the one. The one with the horny teens that break down the highway when they crash into a lesbian.
We're stranded in the middle of absolutely nowhere with the most beautiful woman we've ever seen, and she's a lesbian.
You're telling me you've never heard of this movie starring Claudia Christian, Andy Lauer, and Peter Berg? Oh wait, hold on, there's some more actors that were uncredited. Let's see who these people were. We have Cary Elwes as the tow truck driver, like I said before, and then we have Nicolas Cage as Man in Red Sports Car? And wait, Gilbert Godfrey was Lucky Larry Lupin? Emilio Estevez? Charlie Sheen? Okay, so I might just have to look into this movie, but back to Cary Elwes.
They put cream cheese in my car.
He's Dr. Gordon in this movie, and he has some of my favorite lines. After turning on the lights, Adam and Gordon noticed the dead body in the middle of the floor. The body in all of the shots was the actual Tobin Bell, which, say what you want about Lee and Carrie and what they went through having to film day after day on the same set, but Tobin had to sit in makeup for probably 2.5 hours and then lay in the same position for hours on end getting blasted by studio lighting.
Hey man, we need you to lie on the floor for the entire shoot, and we're gonna cover you up in blood. When we move the cameras around, we're gonna be stepping on you every now and then. I hope that's cool with you.
That's how you do method acting, not by mailing your co-stars condoms and anal beads, Jared.
Yeah, he sent used condoms and
anal beads,
sticky Playboy magazines. I mean, it just weren't right.
After adjusting to their new environment, Adam and Gordon properly introduced themselves.
What's your name?
My name is very fucking confused. What's your name?
While they're trying to figure out while they're there, Adam tells us that he went to bed in a shithole apartment and woke up in an actual shithole. And Gordon just remembers leaving work and heading home, but not much else. While Adam is figuring out if they stole his kidneys or not, we learn that Gordon is Dr. Gordon, and I bet they felt real clever when they wrote this line.
What are you, a surgeon?
Yeah.
Gordon notices the most inconsistent clock in film history and figures out that whoever did this must want them to know what time it is, which plants the seed of mysteries that are about to come. That's why this is such a special movie. The Saw franchise is known for elaborate traps and plot reveals, but this first entry is more of a suspense mystery horror, and even though I've seen this movie many times, I still find myself getting wrapped up in it all. After checking his pockets, Adam finds an envelope with a tape inside, and this makes Gordon check his pockets, where he finds a tape and a key, and he even gets a magnum round for his troubles. Gordon then starts the first of many great object tosses across a Burger King bathroom when he throws Adam the key. The key doesn't unlock any of the chains, so they move on to getting the tape recorder from Mr. Clean after he found the one stain he couldn't fight. Okay, so I'm editing this video right now, and I was gonna make a funny little Mr. Clean edit, little haha, but then I found this ad, and I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. Using the shirt and a drain plug from the tub, Adam manages to get the tape recorder, and I just want you to take note of what the characters look like and how hopeful they're sounding given their circumstances. We get a throw me the whip and I'll throw you the idol when Gordon wants to use the recorder to listen to his tape.
We're gonna have to work together if we want to get out of here. Now just throw it to me.
I'm not gonna risk breaking it. You throw me your tape.
These tapes reveal that Adam is a pathetic voyeur and Gordon has to kill Adam or his family will die. We also get our next Scooby-Doo hint with the classic X marks the spot, and Jigsaw gives us all some words of encouragement when he tells us to follow our heart. We then get the first major scene when Adam digs through poo water looking for something, and this scene was a homage to Trainspotting, the first of many homages to other movies. It's also funny because the bag of saws ended up being in the reservoir when in later movies, it would have most certainly been in the poo water.
I really wish I had checked in there first.
I'm also wondering if there was just poo water there when Jigsaw set up the game, or if he imported his own. We see Gordon and Adam trying to saw through their chains, and after Adam's saw breaks, he has the same reaction I do after Sony Vegas crashes for the 5th time in a row. Gordon then realizes who kidnapped them, and we get the "we're gonna need a bigger boat" line of this movie.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
We're then taken to the scene of a crime and properly introduced to Jigsaw. If you don't already know, his main motif is that he doesn't kill people, he just puts them in traps and tests to see if they have the will to live.
I thought it would be interesting to have this person use their death sentence, this cancer thing, as a way of teaching other people to open their eyes.
Or if trapping them in a razor wire room will help get them off heroin. Oh wait, no, the razor wire trap was because he cut himself, which I feel like is putting a diabetic person in a candy store, but that's besides the point. We're about to get to the heroin addict in a little bit. Also, while Gordon is telling Adam about the Jigsaw killings, we see one where a naked man is buttered up in flammable jelly, and long story short, he loses his game. But the actor that played Mark, the guy that lost his game, was the casting director's ex-husband, and I just found that kind of funny. We also learned that Jigsaw likes to watch his games, and it's a nice little line when you know what happens at the end. After we learn about the man, the myth, the legend, the main character that dies in the 3rd movie, but they still bring him back somehow for 4 more movies, we see Gordon talking to some medical students.
Patient has an inoperable frontal lobe tumor extending across the midline. which started as colon cancer.
Through Zepp chiming in, we learn that the patient that Gordon is talking about is John Kramer. While it's not really fleshed out here, I'll be talking more about Zepp later. Gordon is interrupted when he's called to his office to talk to some detectives. They found Gordon's pen light at the scene of one of the Jigsaw killings and want to bring him in for some questioning. The detectives investigating this case are Danny Glover as Tapp and Ken Leung as Singh. And to avoid going down another rabbit hole, I'll just say that they're both wonderful actors and I enjoy many of the films they've done.
You heard the man. Translate.
He's Korean. I'm from Encino.
While Gordon is talking to his lawyer, we learn that he likes to dip his toes in the greener grass and was with a whore the night in question. This was kinda like Jigsaw's tutorial level, like making Gordon say out loud that he was with another woman and maybe he'll learn his lesson. Gordon's alibi is cleared, but the detectives still want him to listen to one of the survivors tell their story for some reason. This is when we meet series mainstay Amanda Young, played by Shawnee Smith, who filmed all of her scenes in one day while having the flu and a fever of 104. And I know like the producers didn't give her the flu on purpose, but with her actually being sickly, she really sells the sickly heroin addict. Also, Shawnee was a teenage crush of James Wan, and can you really blame the guy? I mean, she could be an extra from the Skater Boy music video with that skirt fishnet combo. This is also when we get the two most iconic things this series is known for, and that's the reverse bear trap and Billy the Puppet.
Hello, Amanda. In front of you is a 10-pound pile of peas.
So the editing process of this movie was kind of fucked with missing footage and having to be creative to fill out the runtime, and that's what made the Saw edit, which would later fill the series like acne on a Pizza Hut worker. Also in some of the shots, James Wan wore a wig and they just filmed his hands, which wouldn't be the last time James had to hop in. Amanda's told that she has to get the key out of the stomach of her cellmate in order to unlock the trap that's on her head. The intestines of the guy she cuts open were pig uteruses, and I found that interesting just because most films would use something rubber or latex. But this is grindhouse cinema, baby. You know we gotta go as real as we can.
I did actually cut my leg when I did that, but it was just a small cut. It's nothing. Here, you can see it there. There you go. There, an acting exercise.
It was also one of the main scenes holding this movie back from getting an R rating. You're seeing it here and now because I have the unrated DVD. Physical media forever. Amanda ends her interview by saying that Jigsaw helped her, and all I can think about is this scene from one of the later movies.
You wanna know the best thing that happened to me? After having to cut off my own arm? Is handicapped parking at the damn mall!
We cut back to Adam and Gordon in the bathroom, and Adam starts to get pissy and threatens to cut the doctor, but then he realizes that the mirror is two-way, and we see the second film homage with the faceless killer wearing black leather gloves from Dario Argento films. Also, everybody likes to think that they're so special when they point out that, hey, there's a plank of wood that should be covering part of the camera lens, but here's something you can tell those people to feel even more special. The security footage used was filmed after principal filming was done because they didn't have enough footage to work with, so you were never actually supposed to see the camera's POV to begin with.
We had a video camera which was supposed to be the surveillance camera. Boy, was I grateful for that one camera. We did fill in a lot of gaps with that camera.
James Wan is not an idiot, he's resourceful. Back to the movie, we get another classic line when Adam says that this is the most fun he's had without lubricant, and I think that's one of the main reasons why this movie works so well. Lee Winnell and Carrie Elways perform great in this movie, and I mean you have to if you're making a movie about two guys in a bathroom and it's not porn. I forget if it was James or Lee, but one of them was talking about how most of the spooks of this movie were based off of their own nightmares, and I can definitely see that with this scene. Also, if you didn't know, this movie was picked up from a short film James and Lee made when they graduated film school, and the reason it takes place in the bathroom is because they could only afford one location. Knowing this, the bathroom scenes feel like the real movie, and all the other scenes are just setting up the stakes to make the main story matter. Like here, we're seeing just how bad Gordon's relationship with his family is. We also get one of the best scenes to ever be filmed, and I'm just gonna play it now because no words could prepare you for what you're about to see.
Give me your Tootsie. Oh, what a big Tootsie. You remember this one?
We then get, honestly, a really chilling scene where Adam and Gordon are talking about his family, and Gordon throws his wallet to show Adam his wife and kids.
We're all in it together. Someone, usually me, has to hold the camera, which means I'm always missing from the photos.
Like, for as over-the-top and try-hard the later movies would get, this movie has some actually good scares, and it's a true horror movie. We cut back to Gordon at his house, and it's kind of funny because his wife is yapping about how there's no passion anymore, but she's doing it in the most passionless way possible.
I'd rather you break down and tell me that you hated me. At least there'd be some passion in it.
This is when the movie starts to pick up because we get the absolutely terrifying scene of a man hiding in the closet before tying up the family and starting to play with them. Like, this is filmmaking that makes you uncomfortable as you watch it, which is great when you're trying to instill a feeling of unease and anxiety. When the mystery man goes to the curtains, we see that Detective Tapp is living across the street watching the house and stalking Gordon. We then cut back to when he was dropping Gordon off at the hospital, and we see his obsession start to fester as he watches the Jigsaw tape over and over again. Singh tells Tapp that he really needs to get some pussy, but this is when Tapp has a breakthrough and identifies some graffiti in the background of the tape. Using the gang territory and fire reports, they triangulate the warehouse to be one of an old mannequin factory, and we get another banger of a line.
You think we have enough for a warrant, though?
Who said anything about a warrant?
While searching the warehouse, Tapp and Singh find Jigsaw's lair, and behind some sheets we find the plans for the bathroom game and Billy the Puppet. They also find that guy from Breaking Bad with the bell on his wheelchair, but before they can do anything, they hear the elevator coming up, so they cover everything back up and find a place to hide. After Tapp and Singh pop out the cut, Jigsaw starts the trap and tells Singh that the key to unlock it is in the box behind him.
Where is it?
It's in the box.
Box!
While Singh is trying to unlock the trap, Jigsaw goes on his rant about the Industrial Revolution and how its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. And after Singh says fuck it and just shoots the drills, Jigsaw pulls out his hidden blade and slashes Tapp. Singh has Jigsaw cornered, and after shooting him in the back, as is standard police practice, we see another iconic trap with the shotgun doors. This is another scene where James wore a wig and played the character. For Amanda, the wig was to get the shadows right, but then after a while, it just started to feel good to wear a wig. After this flashback is over, we see just how crazy Tapp is when he starts talking to his framed photo of Singh.
Right, close it. Right, Singh. Right. We're gonna close it, Singh.
I'm gonna step around this in the most politically correct kind of way, but
God damn it! No, let me get on camera.
Let me get out.
I can't get out of frame.
the bitch I was with.
Okay, no, I'm already into it.
Yeah. So the bitch I was with. We come back to see the mystery man and his pretty sweet gamer setup. While Gordon and Adam are trying to figure out their next move, they start to argue like a married couple, and it goes back to what I said about these actors really bringing the characters to life.
Excuse me? Just because I'm stuck in this room with you doesn't mean I have to report to you every 10 seconds.
After turning out the lights, the duo find a glow-in-the-dark X painted on the wall, and after breaking the tiles, Gordon finds a box. Said box is locked, but Gordon remembers the key from earlier and they're able to open the box. There's a cell phone, as well as a couple of cigarettes and a note for the doctor.
The cigarettes are harmless, I promise. Smoking is only poisonous when it ends in bloodshed. Think about this. You don't need a gun to kill Adam.
Gordon decides to try and use the phone to call the police, but then he realizes that the phone was made to receive calls but not make them. And if you didn't know, it's a law for every phone to be able to dial emergency services even if you're out of minutes. And for my younger viewers out there, back in the day you had to pay by the minute for calls and texts were charged by the letter, so that's why LOL and XD are a thing.
I call it my phone.
Anyway, we get to see what happened the night Dr. Gordon was kidnapped, and we see someone taking a photo before he tries to make a call on a payphone. And for my younger viewers out there, payphones were like public cell phones that were tied to something and usually in a booth of sorts. While trying to make his call, Gordon is kidnapped by someone wearing a pig mask. Getting back to Gordon and Adam, Gordon asks Adam how he knew to turn off the lights, and after some petty insults, Adam gives Gordon the picture of his family with the note on the back. If you want to get hammered, take a shot every time I say this, but we're about to get yet another iconic line.
What are you doing to them, you bastard?
Gordon then remembers what the note says, and he dips one of the cigarettes into the blood of the body before cutting out the lights and whispering to Adam. If you're playing that drinking game, you can take another shot, because we're about to get one of, if not the most iconic scenes of this movie when Gordon passes Adam a cigarette. As a filthy nicotine addict myself, I can relate to the absolute nirvana that comes over Adam's face when he takes a puff. But I can also confidently say that a real man would have smoked at least half of that thing, and if Gordon would have said shit, he would have gotten the middle finger. After faking his death, the ruse is broken when Adam gets electrocuted. Don't think too much about it. And we hear about how Adam was kidnapped. I'm not sure if it's the red light of the film development room, the sound editing in this scene, or just the shitty apartment, but the scene gets to me every time, and I genuinely get creeped out. Also, this rounds off our film homage with Rear Window from Alfred Hitchcock when Adam is using the flash of his camera to look around his apartment. I can't play the whole scene without getting ass pounded with copyright, but the silence only getting broken up by the click of the bulb and subsequent whine of the bulb charging is great at building suspense. We cut back to the bathroom with the boys, and Gordon gets a phone call from the mystery man. This scene, like the other one with the mystery man, is pure grindhouse greatness. It's not flashy or trying to be something more than what it is. It's uncomfortable and a reflection of things that actually happen. Well, more the home invasion and less the elaborate traps. While on the phone, Gordon's wife tells him not to believe Adam's lies and that he knows who Gordon is, and get ready for another shot because goddamn, these iconic lines are flying in fast.
Who are you? You know who I am.
Stop the lies! You're a liar! I need to know the truth!
After getting confronted by Gordon, Adam tells him that he was in the parking lot the other night and has been following him for a while. We also get great acting as Adam and Gordon slowly figure each other out. We see that even though Gordon is wanting to fuck one of his students, he has a moment of clarity and decides to leave, but a phone call stops that plan.
I know what you're doing, Doctor.
We also get to see just how desperate they were in the editing booth when we see the same shot of Gordon walking to his car for the 5th time before cutting back to the boys in the bathroom. While Gordon is trying to figure out who was paying Adam to take the photos of him, we find out that it was Detective Tapp this whole time. And it's a really decent twist since you think it'd be Jigsaw doing it. We get a wombo combo for iconic lines when Gordon tells Adam that
I did not cheat on her!
And we hear about Adam's perfect weekend.
Covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 15-hooker gangbang.
While Adam and Gordon are sitting in silence, Adam notices a picture he didn't take, and we find out that Zepp has been the mystery man that tied up Gordon and his family, and Adam and Gordon have just ran out of time. Michael Emerson really knows how to play the quiet, crazy dude.
Dr. Gordon's time is up. Now I've got to do what I've got to do, and I'm afraid it has to be you.
I mainly know him from Lost, where he was Ben Linus, and oh my god, the first few seasons of Lost, oh my god, the first few seasons, oh my god. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Michael Emerson can really play a convincing crazy guy. Get your bottle ready, because we have yet another iconic line coming up when Zepp calls Gordon so his wife can tell him that he lost.
Is that you, Zepp, you bastard?
It's kind of funny because when Gordon is on the phone with his wife, he puts on his bitch voice. You know the one. The one your homie uses when his girl calls him while you're in the middle of a game and he has to tell her to fuck off in the politest way possible.
Larry, where are you?
I don't know.
I'm being held captive in a room somewhere.
Zepp bum rushes Gordon's wife, and Tapp hears the gunshot through his surveillance system, and it's game on. The gunfight between Zepp and Tapp is great, and you just have to see it for yourself, but more importantly, we see Gordon crying as he listens through the phone, unable to help. Gordon then gets electrocuted, and I'm thinking it was Zepp being petty, but like, he's born again when he wakes up, man. Like, he was dead, man. Crazy, bro. Also, take another shot, because we get this line.
Fuck this shit!
Fun fact, the car chase between Zepp and Tapp was filmed in a warehouse where they turned off the lights and added some fog before shaking the cars back and forth.
Bring a car into a dark building, and you put another light facing them on a stand, and you rotate it, and you get two big grips in the back with some sticks under the car, pushing on the sticks, and it gives the movement to the car.
They cut between Zepp and Gordon for these next few minutes, so I'm just gonna focus on Gordon for now. Gordon is getting a call from his wife, and after not being able to reach the phone, Gordon has finally hit the point of no return and does what everyone came here for. I mean, the scene is great, and you don't need me to tell you that. It's probably the most iconic scene of this movie, except for maybe the last shot, but we haven't gotten there yet. As far as Zepp and Tapp are concerned, they chase each other down some halls and corridors, and then Zepp shoots Tapp. Boring shit over, we get back to the boys in the bathroom and see that Gordon is in rough shape, but he sawed off his foot and shot Adam like he was told to do. But instead of being greeted by his wife and kids, we see Zepp opening the door, and when Zepp tries to kill Gordon, Adam springs back to life and bashes the fuck out of Zepp's head with the lid of a toilet, which is a very valid weapon, look it up. We then get one of my favorite scenes when Gordon is telling Adam that he's gonna go look for help. It's only funny because of the performance Carrie gives.
You're gonna be alright. You're just wounded in the shoulder. I have to go and get help.
Like, this movie would not be the same if even one actor was changed. After Gordon leaves, Adam searches Zepp for some keys, and we get the next few minutes that made Saw what it is today.
Hello, Mr. Hindle, or as they called you around the hospital. Zepp, this is slow-acting poison coursing through your system.
Also, if you remember earlier I said I would talk about Zepp more later, well, now is later. The character of Zepp is expanded upon in a prequel film, but the main gist of the character is that he hated the doctors because they were cold-hearted and would cheat on their wives. This would cause Zepp to think that he could do a better job than the doctors, and we get to see some of this when he's using the stethoscope to listen to the heartbeats of the Gordon family. Zepp's test was to see if he actually cared about people by making him either kill an innocent family or die from poison that was injected into his blood. I feel like out of all of the players, Adam got the short end of the stick. Like, really, Tapp is the only reason he was roped into any of this. They talk about this in one of the Saw video games, but Tapp's thing was that he was obsessed with catching Jigsaw, and that's why he hired Adam to follow Gordon, because Tapp thought that Gordon was Jigsaw. But Adam was just a broke bitch trying to eat dinner. Like, Adam didn't care that Gordon was cheating, and he didn't care about Tapp's revenge mission. He was just a squirrel trying to get a nut, and now he's dead. Well, not quite yet. First, we have some plot twist to reveal. While Adam is listening to Zepp's tape, we see the body in the middle of the room get up and take off the prosthetic he was wearing, and we learn that the key to Adam's chain was in the bathtub with him.
Key to that chain is in the bathtub.
We then get a highlight reel that shows what this movie was all about, and all the realizations hit you at once. Get your bottles ready for one last shot, because this is arguably the most iconic shot of this movie in the entire franchise.
Game over.
And with that, we get hit with the ending credits while we process the last hour and a half. Good googly moogly, that was an experience. If you only knew the Saw movies through references and have never actually watched one, I hope I've been able to convince you to give the series a watch. And if you're a fan of the series, I hope you had a good time going over this movie with me. I can't sing enough praise for this movie. I mean, if you're playing along with the drinking game, you know two things. One, this movie is iconic, and two, you probably need to piss or throw up. This series has has a cult following for a reason, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not only drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm making the Kool-Aid. I love this movie franchise because me and my ex would watch the series during October, and I love this movie franchise because I'm an aspiring filmmaker. Like, the story of this movie and all the behind the scenes nonsense that happened during it shows that it can happen. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have all the movies up to Spiral on DVD and would definitely be down to make a follow-up video. Also, make sure to check out the other things I do, like music videos and podcasts. I co-host a podcast with Arnie King called Henny for Your Thoughts, and I've also been making videos for Arnie. And at the time of writing this, we just released the visualizer for Real Fellas Endangered, and we're performing at a show in October. Also, if you want to show your support and get behind the scenes updates on videos, follow me on Patreon. Also, follow me on Instagram. It's the only social media I'm active on. Anyway, until next time, later.